His father is the head of a large mafia group. He negotiates the sale of young girls. Massimo Torricelli looks through binoculars at a woman on the beach. His father refuses to work with live human trafficking, despite the discontent of his business partners. After finishing the conversation, he approaches his son. At that moment, he is shot with a sniper rifle. The bullet kills the father and wounds Massimo. A few years later, Massimo becomes the head of the family and goes to deal with the bankers who advised him to invest in a certain deal. Massimo has lost too much, so he decides to take the money from the financiers, but they refuse to share, and Massimo has to show dirt on each of them. After that, the financial issue was quickly resolved. Meanwhile, Laura Beale is in New York with the owner of the hotel where she works. A colleague of hers tries to blame Laura for the recent problems at the hotel, but Miss Beale cleverly gets out of the situation and leaves her co-worker to blame. Then, she goes home, where her fiancé Martin is waiting for her. The girl tries to persuade him to get intimate, but Martin doesn't care about her. Having settled his affairs with the bankers, Massimo flew home. On the plane, he was informed that someone had intercepted his shipment of powder. Massimo was upset by the news. Martin is taking Laura to Sicily on vacation. It is her birthday, and in the evening, Martin wishes her a happy holiday. At the same time, he behaves rather rudely. Laura goes to the bathroom and meets Massimo on the way. He is clearly not here by chance. But when Laura turns around, he has already disappeared. Apparently, he jumped over a low fence and hid in the bushes. The next day, while relaxing by the pool with a friend, Laura complains about living with her husband. Then, Martin appears and spoils the bride's mood even more. She realizes that her fiancé is a very bad person because he did not prepare a normal gift for her. Moreover, Martin thinks only of himself and does not notice the girl at all. They quarrel, and in the evening, Laura goes for a walk in the city. In one of the alleys, she meets Massimo. After this meeting, Laura woke up only in the morning, in an unfamiliar place. The door was locked. She spent the whole day in a room with nowhere to go to the bathroom. In the evening, the door was opened, and she found herself in an ancient castle. After wandering through the corridors, Laura came to the main hall and saw a picture of herself on the wall. Laura was surprised. Massimo suddenly appeared behind her, and Laura demanded answers from him. It turned out that she was kidnapped so that Laura would fall in love with her captor. When Massimo was shot on that rooftop, he had a beautiful vision of the girl he fell in love with, and thanks to whom he survived. From that day on, he searched for this stranger. His search ended when he saw Laura at the airport. Massimo ordered her to be kidnapped. Now, he intends to keep her locked up for 365 days. During this time, Laura must fall in love with him. If this does not happen, she will be released. To make her realize that Martin is not a good man for her, Massimo shows her photos of Laura's fiancé cheating on her. Laura is naturally upset, but she had a low opinion of Martin before. She is much more concerned about the kidnapping. After all, she had a different life, and she could stay with this bandit for a whole year. She tried to leave, but Massimo stopped her and made it clear that he would not tolerate disobedience. Laura heard him, drew conclusions, and acted in her own way. Meanwhile, the head of the criminal clan had other things to do. Mario said that their organization might have a conflict with the Gaddus family. However, Massimo does not care about this because he has kidnapped a girl and is trying to win her heart. Massimo finds a man who has ruined the family's image. He not only stole from his clan, but also sold girls to a brothel. As a punishment, Massimo promises to wipe him out so that there is not even a trace of him. While he was doing bad things with this scoundrel, Laura managed to escape and saw a moment that made her feel sick. When Laura came to, it was morning. Massimo was sitting next to her, naked to the waist. He decided to talk to the girl and explain that last night he had killed a very bad man. Massimo told Laura to get ready because they were leaving soon. After breakfast, he took her shopping so that Laura could pick out a new wardrobe. She bought some expensive clothes. And when it came to underwear, Massimo went into the changing room to see how the clothes fit his future wife. However, Laura did not like it, and she showed her temper. After that, she ran away. When she saw the police, she hurried to them and asked for help. But they saw Massimo and silently walked away. They knew who he was and didn't want to get involved with him. Laura had to go to dinner with her kidnapper. After dinner, she found her laptop and phone in her room. She called her mom and told her that she was fine. Laura had lied that she was in Sicily and had been offered a contract for a year, and now she had to stay here for work. In the morning, Laura woke up in the same room as Massimo. She went to take a shower, and Massimo followed her. As usual, he failed, and this upset Massimo. He ordered Laura to be put on the plane, where she was tied with seatbelts. This allowed Massimo to be persistent, but Laura offered little resistance. They flew to Rome, where Massimo had a meeting with his brother. Laura, meanwhile, tried to do everything she could to embarrass him. She even went swimming in a fountain. When they got back to the hotel, Laura went to Massimo's room and he met her in just a towel. But Laura was not going to spend the night with him. So she tried to leave, but the door was already locked. Massimo chained her to the bed and forced her to look at obscene things. In this way, he wanted to show her what Laura was missing by refusing him. Strangely enough, Laura realized that she had not lost anything special. After that, he released her and let her go. Then they went to a club where Massimo had a meeting with some serious people. Laura was asked to wait at the bar, but she went to provoke Massimo into a conflict. When he brought his girlfriend out, she began to do stupid things and fell into the hands of the serious people with whom Massimo was meeting. They were members of an influential family, and they took Laura for a call girl. She didn't like it, and she began to resist. Massimo had to stand up for her. In the process, he injured one of the rude men. Because of this, the two families were on the verge of war. Mario insisted that Massimo get rid of Laura and apologize for his actions, but he was not going to do it. Laura was sorry for what happened, but she still believed that she had been treated badly at the club. She and Massimo started fighting on the yacht, and Laura fell overboard. Massimo rescued her, and when Laura came to, she was amazed by his actions. At the same time, she completely forgot that it was his fault that she had fallen into the water. Deciding to repay her savior, Laura allowed him to do various things to her. Massimo remained faithful to her for so long that his masculine strength was enough for many approaches. Later, Massimo invited his beloved to a ball. When they got to the dance floor, Anna appeared. Massimo dated her until he met Laura. Anna was jealous, so she promised to destroy her rival. Massimo took her threat seriously. After the ball, he told Laura that he was sending her back to Poland for her own safety. Upon returning home, Laura first went to her friend Olga and told her about what had happened. The two friends decided to celebrate Laura's return first at a spa and then at a nightclub. Here, Olga quickly found a boyfriend and disappeared. And Laura met Martin. He wanted her back and followed her to the house. Martin tried to enter, but Massimo was already there. When Martin saw the Sicilian stallion, he gave up. Laura attacked Massimo with accusations because he had sent her to Poland without saying anything, and he disappeared and did not pick up the phone for a long time. However, Massimo was in no hurry to explain himself. First, he did various things with Laura by the window. When they moved to the couch, Laura noticed a scar on his chest and realized that Massimo had been assaulted. She admitted that she didn't want to wait 365 days to fall in love with him because she had already fallen in love with him. In the morning, Laura woke up with an engagement ring on her finger, and when Massimo asked her to marry him, she accepted without hesitation. After that, they went to the store to do some shopping and then meet their parents. They liked Massimo. They decided to have the wedding in Sicily. However, Massimo didn't want to invite any of Laura's family, so they wouldn't know what he was doing. He allowed only Olga to be invited. At the same time, Laura was not feeling well. When she met Olga, she told her about her poor health, and she realized that Laura was pregnant. She advised her not to hide the news from Massimo. Together with her friend, they went to choose a wedding dress. After finding the perfect outfit, Laura was happy. Then they went home, and Laura called her fiancé to tell him the news of her pregnancy. At the same time, Mario learned that an assassination attempt was being prepared against Laura. He couldn't get through to his boss because he was talking to his fiancé. When her car drove into the tunnel, the connection was lost. Right after that, Mario appeared. He hurried as fast as he could, but he was still late. Massimo understood everything by the look on his face. He realized that he had lost his beloved forever.